All right, game between myself and Gotrek Starbreaker, part of our longer live stream where I just gathered up any replays I thought were interesting. And I was trying out some of the buffed Chaos Dwarf units here. So we have buffed Infernal Guard, buffed the Immortals, buffed Bull Centaur Renders versus my opponent playing the Dwarves. The Dwarves have nerfed miners to blasting charges, so we don't see any here. And then we do have nerfed Gyrocopters, just costing a bit more. Now for any tournament-minded people out there, you might see double Skullcracker and you go, wait, two chariots of the Chaos Dwarves are banned in tournaments because they're so strong. I forgot that in the moment because I haven't played a lot of Chaos Dwarves recently because they've been pretty bad for a while. So my chat reminded me of that and I was like, well, all right. If I lose, it doesn't matter. If I win, I'll just surrender. So either way, the Dwarves will win this game as far as our best of 3 went. But I was like, well, I wanted to try it, and we already loaded into the game, so I'm just going to play it out. So let's see if I can at least win the game while cheating. Can cheating win you games? That's going to be the video title. All right. For my lord, I have Astrogoth Ironhand with just Flamestorm and then Black Hammer of Hashit. We do have 2 Bull Centaur Renders with dual axes, the anti-infantry variant, and then we have Orc Laborers for arm-piercing frontline, backed up by triple Infernal Guard, one of which is the Infernal Ironsworn, ROR, the Immortals, and then 2 are just great weapons. I admit I had no anti-air, and I realized that upon loading in, so I am at the mercy of the Gyrocopters, and they're going to get a lot of damage on my Infernal Guard. For the Dwarves, we have Miners, triple Iron Drakes, and then Dwarf Warriors with great weapons, double cannon in the background, and then we have Dragonback Slayers, and I swore there was a Giant Slayer. There we go. There's a Giant Slayer there as well. Astrogoth dives straight in. I'm going to get a predictive Flamestorm out onto these poor Miners. No, Miners! Still takes some damage as a Skullcracker also jumps in as well. Skullcracker is going to try and disrupt some of these Iron Drakes as they pepper my poor Orc Laborers, lowering their already low leadership and getting rid of them. Now we are going to lose 1 Infernal Guard on the advance. The other one's doing okay, and the Immortals are fine for now. Astrogoth and the Skullcracker are trying to get away from the Dragonback Slayers. You got to limp on out of here. And Thoric Ironbrow survives another day while my Infernal Guard try and get through. It's not going great for them. Where's the second Skullcracker? There it is. Charging through some of these Iron Drakes, trying to get rid of these guys. Huge damage on the charge, which is what I was hoping for out of it. Just really good impact damage versus the Dwarves and a lot of AP. Giant Slayers caught up to some of my Bull Centaur Renders. The Bull Centaur Renders do have to escape as the cannons have now turned onto the Skullcrackers. Cannons do a lot of work versus the Skullcrackers. A lot. As the Immortals get caked in fire, most of it's going to hit their minor compatriots, actually, because the Dwarves are not used to shooting at someone that's the same height as them. So a lot of their anti-friendly fire tactics go awry when everybody's the same size. Skullcracker's still taking a lot of damage from those cannons, plus the Slayers, so now we got to get out of here. And this is a great engagement for me. The Immortals versus the Giant Slayers is fantastic, so I just need to get the Bull Centaur Renders out of here, and the Skullcracker as well, but those cannons are still causing me a lot of grief. Astrogoth is trying to stop the cannons. He is not very effective at stopping these poor cannon crews, who are going to ignore him, occasionally losing models, but mostly just getting their damage out as Bull Centaur Renders charge back in. Dragonback Slayers trying to peel for Thoric once again while he is fighting my Bull Centaurs. Dwarf Warriors doing great. Gyrocopters have gotten a ton of value, but they're running out of ammunition. So eventually I'll be okay. Out of my Infernal Guard, the Immortals are still half HP. That one is like a quarter HP, and that one is almost dead. So far, the Infernal Guard not having a good time, though that's partially, mostly, possibly all my fault for not giving them any air defense in this build, so they've just been at the mercy of the Gyrocopters. Skullcracker getting through these cannons a lot faster than Astrogoth was, because Astrogoth has been here for a while, and the Skullcracker just immediately gets rid of them, while its cousin is taking a ton of damage, very low from the pressure those cannons have been putting out. Now the Immortals killing Iron Drakes as Dragonback Slayers and Thor charge into them, and I'm fine with this relatively. My Immortals are here to fight infantry, so I actually get to fight the Slayers. That's fine. I really don't want my Bull Centaur Renders or my Chariots fighting those guys. Astrogoth is still trying to get rid of these cannons, having a lot of trouble of it, and I do get one of my first Flamestorms onto the Dragonback Slayers. It is beautiful, torching those Dwarves. Then they do have a bit of fire resistance, but as you can see, that's not really doing them any favors, as they're still taking a lot of damage. Fire resistance, spell resistance, still big damage onto those literally naked Dwarves running around in a flaming inferno. Bull Centaur Renders have been kept safe. I'm going to rear charge these Dwarf Warriors with great weapons and get some damage out there, but I'm really just trying to avoid the Slayers for now, as my Skullcrackers once again get rid of this other cannon. Astrogoth's still trying to get rid of this cannon, but the Dwarf crews just ignore him. They drag the cannons away from Thoric, and they're going to fire at point-blank range into my Skull cannons, my Skullcrackers. So Astrogoth is not doing very well at killing off those cannons. His Flamestorms have been amazing. His melee prowess, not as much. Bull Centaur Render still trying to pick off some Dwarf Warriors in the background. One of my Skullcrackers is at 600 HP. Now they charge the cannons themselves. And hey, look at that, Astrogoth. Instantly a lot more damage, and they're gonna terror out them. Wow, that's crazy how that can happen. Giant Slayer's running away from my Infernal Guard. The Infernal Guard now getting peppered by Iron Drakes. I do have some fire resistance, but I mean, they're just so low. They can't withstand this attack. Dragonback Slayer's gonna push him off. Bounce power is now in the Chaos Dwarf's favor. Still have a full health Astrogoth, half health Skullcracker, almost dead Skullcracker that I'm now just gonna dedicate to chasing off units. And then I have some Orc Laborers scattered here and there, but mostly it's down to my Bull Centaur Renders, Astrogoth, and a very wounded Skullcracker. For the Dwarves, we have Thoric, half HP. Dragonback Slayers, just below half. And then a couple Iron Drakes here and there. It's mostly the Dragonback Slayers and Thoric, though. We have a full health Gyrocopter that can be useful as a flying dog and just chase off any units that are already routing. I'm a little concerned that all I have are large units left versus these Slayers. But I should be okay, as the cannon crew is trying to get back online. Look at them sneaking back there, by the way. Sneaking back online, get back onto their cannon mounts as Astrogoth has to fight. Now Thoric does pop the Rune of Doom and Rune of Breaking onto these guys. So two things are going to happen at once. I get another sick Flamestorm onto the Dragonback Slayers, which I absolutely need to win this game, but also these sneaky Dwarves. Flamestorm, that's cool, that's fine. But these sneaky Dwarves sneak back onto their cannon, just barely any people. Bull Centaur Renders charge back in. The cannons turn towards my lone Skullcracker with 243 HP. The cannons are gonna fire while this whole blob fight goes down. And they kill my Skullcracker! No! He was doing so good. So Astrogoth is down to half HP. Bull Centaur Renders are back in. This used to be the healthy ones. This is the final fight where we just need to take out the Slayers, but we know we're gonna take a lot of damage doing it. We have depleted them down to 9 Dragonback Slayer models. Iron Drakes are about to break. And we do have a cannon turning to fire at the general blob fight. My other Skullcracker is trying to get back to this fight as quickly as possible, as the cannon is firing through, getting good damage on my Bull Centaur Renders. I think he's manually firing it at this point. I honestly do, because that's the only way a cannon would fire at that close of range consistently like that. But I do send some other Bull Centaur Renders to deal with it. I should be fine from this point. There's 5 Dragonback Slayers, 4 and Thoric versus Astrogoth and the Skullcracker. I should be all right. We even have some Infernal Guard coming back. Not that they matter too much, but we do have them coming back. Rune of Negation popped on Thoric, giving him a crap ton of resistances. 40 ward save, 25% physical resistance, 10% fire resist, 40% spell resist. That is a lot of resists. The Dragonback Singular Slayer chases the Bull Centaur Renders off. I love that he alone chased those guys away. And then an Iron Drake shot over the top is going to lower everybody's already wavering leadership quite a lot. But the Skullcracker easily runs those last 3 dwarves over. It's just going to kill them. More power doesn't overcast damage to him, because I forget Thoric's ability to make you overcast spells also applies to just abilities like more power. But at this point, it's probably GG. So we have some miners charging in to try and help out, but these 3 single entities should be able to beat up just poor Thoric. Now, I did have to concede that game because I brought an illegal build. You're not allowed to take 2 of the Chaos Dwarf trains because they're a little too strong. But it was a fun game, so I thought I'd cast it anyway. Astrogoth did great, especially his Flamestorms did fantastically. Infernal Guard, I don't want to judge them too harshly because I didn't give them the tools to succeed, so it feels mean to say these suck. I think I didn't build well around them. The Immortals did fine for what I needed them to do. Bull Centaur Renders did pretty well. So, yeah, it was good. GG. Pretty close game. Gotrek was a good sport about it, despite the fact that I cheated. So, his build was pretty cool. His formation was pretty cool. His Slayers were very annoying to try and deal with and get away with. Cannons did great. Gyrocopters did fantastically. Iron Drakes did pretty solid as well. Considering he was just using them as leadership disruption tools to get rid of my laborers, because any of my main units have fire resistance, so yeah. GG's, lad. GG's.
Subscribe, yes, yes.